This video is sponsored by VIPSCDKey.com. VIPSCDKey.com is a marketplace website where you can purchase game keys and software keys with no hassle. VIPSCDKey.com offers a legit Windows 10 key for only $22 and Windows 11 key for $32. This is the same keys I use on my PC builds. But to make it more awesome, they'll be giving another 25% discount. Just type our coupon code XTNC to get it for only $16 for Windows 10 key and $23 for Windows 11 key. You now have your legit Windows 10 or 11 key license all set, but in a more affordable price. If you're in the Philippines, purchasing is very easy. You can use PayPal or Maya. Visit VIPSCDK.com now. I'll put the link in the video description below. So thank you VIPSCDK.com for sponsoring this video. Marami na ngayong brands na nagre-release ng OLED gaming monitor. Syempre, si AORUS magpapahuli ba? So this is the new AORUS FO32U2P 4K 240Hz QD-OLED gaming monitor. According to AORUS, this is the world's first QD-OLED gaming monitor featuring the new DisplayPort 2.1 UHBR20 or Ultra High Bitrate 20 standard, which supports up to 80 gigabits per second high data bandwidth transmission. Aside from that, this also has tactical features which can give gamers some advantage. Sulit kaya ito? Let's find out in this video. But before everything else, inside the box, we have one DisplayPort 2.1 to mini DisplayPort cable, one HDMI 2.1 cable, one USB Type-C cable, one USB A to B connection cable, power brick, quick start guide, warranty card, and a color calibration test report. It also has a screen peel film added for double protection during delivery, which you should remove before use because it will introduce so much reflection and glare on the display. So this AORUS FO32U2P gaming monitor features a 31.5-inch flat quantum dot OLED panel with 4K ultra high definition resolution, 240Hz refresh rate, and 0.03 milliseconds claimed gray-to-gray response time. Obviously, with that specs alone pa lang, you'll already know that this monitor is positioned towards competitive gaming. Being a QD OLED panel powered by Samsung Display, we expect it to be better in terms of color vibrance, performance, and black levels, as well as having better brightness compared to non-QD OLED displays. It also supports features like daisy chaining displays, with one of the ports being the input and the other being an output to connect another display, as well as adapted sync, particularly FreeSync Premium Pro, which helps to avoid screen tearing and stuttering. It also has VESA Clear MR certification tier of 13,000, which means it has a higher motion clarity and less motion blur. Pwede rin ito for console gamers as this also supports ALLM or Auto Low Latency Mode and VRR or Variable Refresh Rate with HDMI 2.1 at 4K 120Hz for both the PS5 and Xbox Series X. The AORUS FO32U2P also has a 10-bit panel, which gives it a wider range of colors to display and may support then for HDR with a VESA Display HDR True Black 400 certification. On our test, we achieved the near perfect score of 98% in DCI-P3 color space coverage. AORUS claims it at 99%, as well as 95% coverage of Adobe RGB, 100% or more for sRGB, and 92% of NTSC color spaces. So color accuracy wouldn't really be an issue here for content creators, as I think this would be great for editing videos or just entertainment consumption. There's an average delta E of less than 2 as per AORUS claims, which is very good. And if you worry about image burn-in, which is a notorious in OLED panels, the AORUS FO32U2P has a built-in utility called AI OLED Care that can be accessed through the 5-way OSD with a single click. It uses AI-based algorithm to minimize burn-in risks, along with a suite of 6 main OLED protecting techniques like pixel clean, static control, pixel shift, APL stabilize, sub-logo, and corner dim with minimal interference. You can also customize other parameters of the OLED protection through its settings. There are also AORUS tactical features that can help make gamers' lives much easier. Gaya nitong tactical switch beside the main joystick, which is by default is bound to a resolution switch that will change the display size to a 24.5-inch 1080p resolution for specific gaming needs, like competitive gaming, where small screen size is mostly preferred, as well as game assist like timer and crosshairs, black equalizer 2.0, eagle eye, and the dashboard, which can display vital hardware stats as an overlay. Of course, it also has a PIP and PBP modes and a built-in KVM that can be accessed by the other switch beside the OSD joystick, which could be useful if you have a multiple devices connected at the same time to the display and want to use only one keyboard and mouse for both of them. As for the design of this monitor, we were shocked at first when we saw how thin the panel was. At only around 5mm, this is so far the thinnest monitor panel that I've had my hands with. And because it's a QD-OLED panel, this does not need a thick backlight layer kaya possible yung ganitong kanipis. The bezels are also small but couldn't be really considered frameless. And you'll find a stealthy AORUS logo in the lower front. There are no striking elements and just a clean, light appearance which would make this display suitable for many environments, not just for gamers. At the back, there are LED bars which they call the RGB Spatial Rift, which incorporates 3D laser technology giving a unique water ripple lighting effect which has 3 default modes at the OSD settings, or could be customized further at the Gigabyte Control Center app. May built-in speakers then ito which you can use for quick audio playback or if you don't have speakers or headsets plugged into your system. There's also a VESA mount beneath the display stand attachment if you want to use a monitor arm or other stand instead. And speaking of the stand, it does have a huge hole where you can put your cables for a cleaner look. It has a mix of metal at the base and plastic on the upper parts. So this is definitely a sturdy one. Napakadali din ikabit, you just have to clip in on the monitor and screw the base using the thumb screws, so toolless setup. It's also highly ergonomic as it covers all the essential adjustments, be it swivel up to 20 degrees, pivot up to 90 degrees clockwise, height adjustment and tilt, which gives you ultimate flexibility to adjust for the best viewing angle. On the size of the monitor, its width would be around 72 centimeters, while its height with the stand would be around 61 centimeters, and its depth with the stand would be 15 centimeters, and for the monitor stand, its width would be 25 centimeters, and the length would be around 54 centimeters in case you need to know for your desk space. For connectivity, there are 2 HDMI 2.1 input ports, 1 DisplayPort 2.1, and 1 mini DisplayPort USB R20 input ports, and 1 DisplayPort 1.4 output port where you can connect another display for daisy chaining, as well as USB-C port which also has support for DisplayPort alternate and may PD charging din of up to 65 watt. Meron din itong dalawang USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports, 1 USB Type B upstream for connecting it to the computer, 3.5mm pass-through jacks for both mic and headphones, and of course the DC power jack. There's a lot of options for connections so di ka kukulangin dito. For the ghosting, well, there's really nothing based on this image for the UFO test since OLEDs are known to respond almost immediately. Testing the input lag using OSLTT or open source latency testing tool. For the on-display lag, we only have an average of 1.88 millisecond, which is already invisible to the human eye. And also factoring all these others in this graph like USB polling delay and render times, we would still have an average total input lag of only 3.51 millisecond, which is truly amazing. In terms of brightness, the monitor reached a maximum of 216 nits during our tests. As for its power consumption, it only peaked at around 85 watt when we tested it with 100% brightness and playing audio at 100% volume as well. So it's really not that power hungry, and obviously you wouldn't keep it at 100% brightness all the time due to the potential burn-in risk. So medyo matipid siya. Personally, I think we're now approaching the era where OLED panels would be more common among the newer premium gaming monitor segment, so expect more of this through the years. Although I always wish that this display technology would get much cheaper to adapt so that it would trickle down even dun sa mga cheaper models para mas abot kaya ng marami. Because the benefits of having OLED or QD-OLED panels, especially in terms of color vibrance, accuracy, and performance is worth it lalo na kung gamit mo ito mostly for entertainment like gaming or content consumption, or even with content creating and production since this is a high-resolution display. I think once you've got an OLED, there's no turning back na on older display technologies like LCD or even IPS LED displays, even if there are some trade-offs like peak brightness and burn-in risks. However, since this is a 4K 240Hz display, medyo challenging itong i-drive. So you should also have a powerful system to enjoy the most out of it. Especially kung target mo ngang maglaro at 4K resolution and reach at least 240 FPS on your games to enjoy its full high refresh rate option. Aside from the fact na medyo maiksi yung DP cable na included and the cable pass-through sa stand is masikip, that we even had a hard time fitting the DC power cable unless sa itaas mo muna siya padadaanin. There's nothing really else to nitpick on this. The design is minimal but good. There's a highly ergonomic stand, which is always a plus. Great display panel performance, and if you prefer flat panels over the curved ones, this could be an option for you. For the SRP of 87,750 pesos. I think it's still quite a hefty amount for now, but considering this is a 4K ultra high definition flat display with a very fast 240Hz refresh rate and a QD OLED panel, which is still relatively new plus all of its features that we mentioned earlier and a 3-year warranty that includes coverage for panel burn-in, what you're getting here is obviously a premium product. And I think if you can afford a high-end gaming PC to pair this with, buying this might not be an issue naman. Siguro, di ba?